today we're going to talk about a couple of pretty shitty stories. Mike's going to introduce us with something about the Red Cross that happened recently on today's Not So Critical update.
So not super recently, but this is kind of the point and what I really want to talk about. I don't know. This has been on the schedule, I think, for maybe even 2 weeks. This cyber attack on the Red Cross and the idea that attacks have real consequences. So Red Cross was hacked, 500 some thousand names were released, and the Red Cross actually had to stop providing services to reunite families because they were worried that the release of this information put these families at risk. So in terms of real life impact, here's a case where these people stopped getting services. We talked not too long ago about, the Kronos hack happened on December 11th. We still, even as recently as this week, get comments from people on that video saying, I'm finally getting paid, but I haven't got my overtime, or I'm still not getting paid. Like, this has been going on for over a month, well over a month, almost a month and a half, maybe even over a month and a half, unresolved. In both cases, I went back today to try and find updates. Nobody cares.
Nothing.
News has moved on. Can't find an update. You find the original stories that say, so many people could be impacted, or 500,000 names were hacked and we were worried about the impact, but no updates on, hey, there actually was this impact, or everything turned out great, everything was okay.
Because it's not news.
It really sucks. And I think makes it hard. So this is the trap that I fell for, right? You never get the follow-up. So I think you lose sight of that there really is an impact. You just hear the headline and then you move on and think, I guess it must not have been that bad.
Yeah.
But maybe it kind of is that bad sometimes.
I think a lot of the time it's that bad. Especially with real people. These people have to live through the consequences of losing that money.
Their livelihood. This is important stuff. And then now we're talking about, the Red Cross, which it's like, on one end, shame on you. You have a civic duty to secure this data to the best of your ability.
Who, Red Cross?
Your Red Cross.
Yeah, but...
no, I don't even want to hear the nonprofit excuse.
What do you mean?
I'll tell you what I mean.
Red Cross are big enough that they don't really have an excuse. But I think a lot of NGOs
that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Okay. If a charity, a small grassroots charity that is local and uses WordPress with some insecure plugins, sure, I get it. Your budget's like $100 for IT a year. Totally, I'm with you. But Red Cross gets so much money that it is irresponsible of them to not allocate X% towards IT and IT security.
Yeah. Get your shit together, Red Cross!
That's right, Proddy. Yeah, I said Proddy.
But does it... so it matters.
Sorry.
It's hard to cover a serious topic with him.
Poddy's right.
Poddy, mind your business.
Watch your tone.
Fuck you, Mike!
All right, we'll deal with you later, Poddy. I don't even... He derailed me. I don't even know where
I'm sorry, man.
No, I know
what do you mean? Poddy?
I know, that's what I'm saying. Why do you take it personally, Peter? You had nothing to do with Poddy's appearance on the podcast.
So what a mischievous little Mike that guy is. MIC, by the way.
So there's nothing special about the Red Cross in this case. They have the resources. They are responsible. They should be able to protect this data. But companies all over the planet aren't protecting their data all the time. So this is no different. So one piece I was thinking about was the reason this information is online is because it needs to be shared with other properties that are interested in. The problem is that it was accidentally shared with somebody who shouldn't have had access to it. That is an inherent risk of data sharing.
Yeah.
The convenience of wanting to be able to share data with branch offices contrasted to the consequences that could be faced if you share it with people who don't want it. I think that's too simplistic. How are companies supposed to do that?
They're supposed to do it securely. They can. I think that should be fine to do.
Can they? Can a company do that? We haven't found one yet that can.
That's a straw man argument, I think. Like, let's say, well, the convenience of having a door is that you can walk through it. Well, doors can be picked, locks can be picked, so we shouldn't, doors are the right way forward? Should we find
that's true, but what do we say every time? It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. We see companies with vast resources getting hacked every day. Like, is there a solution to this? Is there a safe way to do this?
Yes, for sure. Best practices.
Security, best
straight
practices,
up. Just have a security policy and follow it and adhere to it. This is cookie cutter stuff.
So every time we hear about this, it's just companies not following.
It's neglect. It's SolarWinds neglect. That's the level of neglect we're talking about here. It's not having least privilege adhered to. It's not having, like, how are you not password managing and auditing and enforcing 2FA strictly through apps? This is kindergarten level stuff. You should be able to do this. Your budget is in the hundreds of millions or revenue. Like, what is going on? Not talking about Red Cross here specifically. Red Cross, I believe they're like, they utilize 2% of what they get for administrative costs. Everything else is like either moving money or getting money to victims. So it's a little harder to be like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, fuck you, Red Cross. They're doing what they can. Of course, again, they have a responsibility to the victims that they log data on and store data on. That you need to secure this to the best of your ability. You didn't do that, and now those vulnerable people are affected. The onus is on them at the end of the day.
Can I make a plug, by the way? Can I plug something?
Us.
So going to be starting to work with an organization called Cyber Peace Builders as of in a couple of weeks' time. It's a really cool organization. They are a charity that works with other charities to on all levels of cybersecurity. Cool. And what I'm going to be doing is donating. Actually, what my employer is going to be doing is donating some of my work time, something like 3 or 4 hours a month, to NGOs. And anybody can contribute. Well, not anybody. They're doing it really sensibly. They approach companies and they want the companies to donate employer time, so that it's not like a volunteer who turns up in this kind of conflate, because that happens a lot. If it's a volunteer doing their own time, but if it's an employee whose employer is saying, "Hey, 4 hours a month you can work for this charity," well, yeah, okay. They provide insurance. They don't accept employees who haven't been working for, have only been working for a short time for the employer. There needs to be a trust relationship. They do background checks on the companies and everything. It's really sensible and really cool. And any kind of, they do preparing for attacks. They do post recovery. The only thing they don't do is incident response because that's too on the minute. You can't guarantee that. But really cool. Anyway,
that is really cool.
What's the call to action? Get involved, give money, tell your employer.
It's just awareness of the whole thing. What they're doing, they started a couple of years ago. At the end of last year, they had 30 NGOs helped with something.
What are they called?
Or something like that. Cyber Peace Builders. I think it's the Cyber Peace Institute is the name. I have to say, I'm not really sold on the name. It's a little
cyberpeaceinstitute.org. I see it.
There you go.
So what should people do to help spread awareness?
Well, I mentioned it on their podcast. Like and subscribe. Yeah. Like and subscribe.
To our podcast to help build awareness for whatever Peter was talking about.
I'll keep plugging it. No, it's just a cool thing I want people to know about. They want to. Their ambitious goals are by the end of 2025. They want to be helping 1,000 NGOs with 3,000 volunteers. I think it was the number. So the more people.
See, this is why techs need marketers, Peter. We got to work on your call to action. We got to work on the messaging here.
Yes. Well,
build some support.
I'm not their marketer. I just want to kind of plug to the project.
Yeah, that's very nice. Maybe Red Cross should have been talking to Cyber Peace Institute. I don't know.
Genuinely,
just gonna throw that bone out there.
Yeah, Look, going back to Mike's point of this like lazy reporting, it's so shitty, but that it's not news that people aren't interested in this. But is that
we had this
fault or
other
our fault?
tweet from Leslie Carhart on Twitter that you shared. Every couple of years, someone reverse engineers a popular free social app, discovers it collects all the metadata it possibly can about your device and behavior. The story blows up. Everyone is shocked. Promises to delete the app. And then like 100 people do, and people keep using all the apps after all.
Yeah, it's so true.
So, I mean, similar to this story, like, oh my God, breaking news. Red Cross was hacked. Kronos was hacked. Social media platforms collecting all your data. Okay, what's next on my scroll?
Right.
What's the next story?
You know what the worst part, the saddest part is being part of the 100 people. When you're in that, obviously 100 is arbitrary. When you're in that tiny minority, and I have a great example for one that I'm a part of, is Riot Games, a super big video game publisher, creator of League of Legends, Valorant, and a couple other big names. Their newest game is Valorant. It's a Counter-Strike clone. Why am I bringing it up? Because Riot Games
you're a shield for Riot.
Riot Games created thanks, Potty. They created something called Vanguard. Vanguard is
cheating.
It is the anti-cheat engine that runs alongside Valorant. And it runs on the if I remember correctly, it runs on the, what is it called? The O layer? I don't remember, but like kernel level stuff. It has access to every single thing on your PC. Yeah. Everything. It sees everything. And when people started poking at Vanguard, they're like, this is the most intrusive anti-cheat I've ever seen. Now, why is it a concern? Well, it's a concern because Riot Games is owned by Tencent. Tencent is a Chinese company. Tencent has a what's it called? A Chinese party officer assigned to them. Like, this is not something you want to have installed on your PC. And I have friends that are like, you should try Valorant. You should play Valorant with us. And I'm like, no, I can't install Vanguard on my PC.
Yeah.
And people are like, well, you have Steam and easy anti-cheat, EAC, and you have VAC, Valve anti-cheat. What's the difference? And it's like, well, they have a decade worth of credibility to them. Riot Games has no credibility to their anti-cheat engine.
The number of times I've had to explain to someone why I don't have WhatsApp is just, oh my God, because it's a privacy nightmare, and it's like, but why don't you have it? But why? They just don't get it. Like, you're right.
And yet,
part of that.
How many players, John and 5 other people, won't play Valorant because of this?
Yeah, right.
Everybody else, who cares?
I bet you anything you end up playing it though.
Who, me?
I mean, there's no difference than you and Oculus, right, Peter?
No, and that's true. Well, but that's the thing, right? Is it doesn't matter because we're all hypocrites. I have WhatsApp. Peter is using Facebook.
Yeah.
And Facebook Messenger is end-to-end encrypted. So like, you know, what else is there to say? It's kind of like
so one fun,
I was waiting for Potty.
I don't think you can see him on this.
He's in the background.
So one fun tweet is B Hughes says the overlap between people who use TikTok and privacy vegans is not huge. I love the term privacy vegans. I think it is vegans. Perfect.
Do you think I'm a privacy vegan?
Oh my God, Peter! If there's a privacy vegan on the planet, it's you. Are you kidding me?
Oh
wait,
my
privacy
God.
vegan sounds like they're not taking they're not taking part of like privacy stuff. That's what I hear. Like they don't.
Oh no! I hear it as somebody who like there's no level of privacy that's good enough.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, that's good. That's good. It's like
I have some vegan friends who may be upset with that.
Oh yeah, are they offended?
Try cooking for one of them sometime and see if they eat what you made.
Do they do like CrossFit and or they also it's like CrossFit privacy fit, cross privacy. I don't know what to call it, but yeah, just can't shut up about it.
I would be. I'm more comfortable with offending the CrossFit crowd than I am the vegan crowd. Okay,
that's just because you're tied to some vegans.
I know. Look. My best friend is a vegan.
Well,
I will not cook for him.
Some of my best friends are vegans too.
Win.
Okay,
you cannot win trying to cook for a vegan.
Why are you guys saying this like we're being like racists towards vegans?
Because saying privacy vegan is definitely a slur.
Yeah, no, vegans are the worst. Absolutely.
Is it a slur? I don't know.
I mean,
it's just a dietary choice. It's like I'm not gonna get mad if you guys are like, "Hey, John is he's a pescatarian." You know, like no.
But,
like, I don't.
But in this context, privacy vegans is a
it's derogatory for sure.
Is it?
Yeah,
I don't know. I feel like it's just funny. Maybe it's because the group isn't large enough, so it's okay to laugh at. I don't know.
They're a minority, and minorities are fine to laugh at. It's okay.
If we've learned anything,
as long as it's a small group.
Here comes Here comes that one free strike we have. It's coming in hot.
Banned for hate speech. Nice job, Peter.
Hey, he was the one who said it's only a small group, so it's okay to laugh at them. That's a definition of a minority as a small group.
Say minority. I just said a tiny group.
You didn't say the word. You just defined it.
Are vegans even a minority at this point? You know, they're like a sub-minority.
Wow. All right, I'm going to try to make one attempt to
a minority.
Rescue this.
Like, okay, God.
One attempt to rescue this. So here's a serious tweet that Ryan O'Grady says, I have a real problem with apps being able to covertly siphon clipboard data as that contains sensitive information like passwords from a password manager. If my phone blocks me from copy and pasting, or if my PC blocks me from copy pasting my password from my password manager into an app or into a website, I will be furious.
But that's not what he's saying. That is not what he's saying. What he's saying is something that Android allows, which is I copy a 2FA code, hop over to XApp. Before I paste the code, it reads my clipboard.
Yeah.
How is that any different than?
Because it's
I don't see how that's different.
It's not an action. That means that inherently Android allows the application through these fucked up permissions to read what I have copied. But what if what I have copied? What I have copied?
Of course you want it, Mike.
Nope. You want it.
Nope.
You want that.
I will not give up that.
The convenience.
If you want to make it even harder to use password managers in 2FA, go ahead and do that. Then I'll stop using those too.
But I don't even want 2FA. I want push notification 2FA. I want to just tell me when I sign in, and it says approve, and I approve, and that's it.
I agree. That's good. That's good.
You got that, privacy vegan?
Potty, you cannot be anti-vegan, okay? We respect everyone on the show.
Fuck you, John!
Oh boy.
That little scamp. Yeah. He's at it again.
Yeah, he's at it again. Gotta unplug that guy.
All right. Cue the music.